sure, that'll do. Right, stand by everyone. I need to turn it on. This is going to take a few minutes, I'll be right with you. Look at me, hello, we're over there, how are we doing? Oh, this is exactly what it looks like last time. It was rather hilarious, it must be said. This is the sluggish bit that nobody sees. I'm assuming you can't even hear me, given what happened last stream. Okay. Yeah, cool. That one. Okay. Okay, that works. Okay, it's okay, it's okay. Right. There to tidy it up. Oh, right then. We made it at long last. Hello, everyone. I promise this is, this is a competent live stream. Right, so let me just make sure everything's working on this side. If I go to that one, I should see the latest live stream going on. Why is it not? No, fine then. Okay. I need this one open for the chat. Sabu Nori, hello. Thank you very much for tuning in. Yes, this is not quite the live stream you were probably thinking it would be, and I need to make sure. Let me just bring this a little bit closer. Okay. So hopefully this way you can hear me and see me in some of my glory. It's yeah, this is a bit of a interesting setup. I do exist, I promise. I am all the way up here. So hello everyone. So yeah, this is some kind of competence, but this is a continuation of my previous live stream, which is going to be very exciting. Lucian Stubbs Brown, hello everyone. It's basically midnight. I'm dying, but it's fine. That's brave. I'm guessing you were one of the Australian fans who tuned in a couple of days ago. One thing I kind of had to accept when it comes to time zones is whatever time of day it is for me, it's that time of night in Australia. Yes, it is. Okay, so if anybody didn't or wasn't here for the previous live stream, we got on with some building of the coaches. Which one do I need to? Yeah, it was this one. So some progress has been made, and it is actually very exciting. So I am kind of relying on the live stream I've got on my phone for the chat, as well as making sure everything's the right way around. Purple Builder, hello, thank you very much for tuning in. This is an impromptu live stream, so anybody who tunes in is quite exciting. So if I take the roof off to show what we've been doing previously, pretty much we were getting on with the internal details of some of the coaches. This one has gone a little bit further because I discovered this coach has compartments in it, and I thought I would use some dark green bricks for the compartment walls. It's the only coach I need to add compartments to, which is a good thing because all the other coaches basically have their internal details sorted. Some more upgrades and modifications have been made to the coach in the past few days. So, first of all, what I'm going to be doing is, I may as well show this now because this is the big detail. all the coaches now have names, and they are names of friends that I know in the hobby, basically. And yeah, it's a really cool thing to do because there are some express coaches, at least British ones, that have um, names on like a special name for a certain coach. I was watching Unlucky Tug's video of the Flying Scotsman's USA tour. I've already seen the video a couple of times, but it's a very good thing to watch and have in the background if you're doing something for an hour. And there are some of the coaches as part of that consist that had names. So I thought, you know what? This is my express now. This isn't just the LMS Coronation Scots. It's the Triton Lega Railway dedicated streamlined express service. I still need to think of an express name. The coaches are named, but the express isn't. So that's still something to kind of think about. I am getting there eventually. Right, the other big thing is I've been working on the wheel bogies for the coaches. I thought, you know what, the original ones, which look like this, hopefully lighting does play well today, it's kind of bland, you know. This, however, looks much better. I can only really show so much because the lighting is a bit awkward here. If I try and, can I try and shuffle it? Let me just quickly experiment with the camera position. Sorry folks, stand by. I need to, actually I don't think I need to because, you know, black bricks aren't exactly the easiest thing to see anyways. So I think I'll save the hassle and just keep it as is. But yeah, some more detail on the outside of the wheel truck. More details on the bogie overall with some more spring representations, and you know, it's just a bit longer. Do I actually have, well, technically I do, but I can't actually show what the final coach is going to look like. Yeah, so I think as I'm working on with this one, that already has one of the bogies in place. I'm going to finish this one, get it on there, and then we'll have a look at the final coach. So all of the coaches have names. There is a motorbike outside. I don't know if anybody you can hear that. It's, yeah, not the best thing ever. So the coaches all have names. All of the wheel bogies are being upgraded. I am going to do the same thing with the twin articulated one. After that is all done today, where's the, there it is, right in front of me. So after that is done today, I'm going to get on with the recording. I'm probably going to do the recording tomorrow because I don't know how long this is going to take. Particularly the lights that we have is kind of, you know, it's not, it's bright, you know, daytime obviously, but it's not sunlight either. I use the same bogie technique for my rail tractor. Ah, yes. Very lovely. So, I think the first thing I need to do is dive into my Britling quarter. So, a couple of Britling quarters have arrived today. This is basically everything I need to finish the wheel bogies. And it is pretty exciting because I placed the orders on Sunday. They were shipped on Monday, which was yesterday, and they arrived today. That's pretty cool. Now then, let's get them all out. If I sit this way, that might be a bit more. Ooh, careful there. Make sure no one. Sorry. Could have experienced a bit of struggle with the tablet again because there was a couple of lag issues. So yeah, this is a bit more of a pleasant angle. I do apologise for the unprofessional nature of me sitting like this, but this is the only way I can really build, so to say. And at the same time, I can show off so much. I can literally just grab something, show you like this. I tend to build on the floor like this anyways and have something on my lap as I'm building. So this is very natural for me. But again, I understand the lack of professional nature to how this is being built in the first place. So yeah, I'm going to carry on. I've got other parts over there. I'll get to that in due. I might just bring them over now because, you know, why not? Some backup parts. I've been digging through my massive pile of off-brand parts, which is just to the side over there. Sorry, hang on. I'm just being a bit more cautious of what's behind me nowadays. There we go. So that's a bit of a nice clean wall. Again, not the most professional thing ever, but will do. Ah yes, and there's one thing I need to do before we actually get on with the wheel bogies. So, because we have a brake coach, it needs a brake wheel. I do have some around somewhere, but for the life of me, I cannot find them. So I had to buy one on Bricklink. Isn't that just lovely? There we go. That's the previous brake wheel design, just using round tiles on the top. This is a duck. Hello, thank you so much for tuning in. How are you doing? And we're going to replace it with an actual wheel. Look at that. Much better. So that goes back in. Lovely bass. Right. That's on there, that's on there. Oh yeah, another upgrade that I was going through. Let me grab the box as well, because this is quite humorous. So there was another detail I realised I could do with all of the off-brand bricks that I have. Brick Ships 1912, hello, thank you very much for tuning in. So, with all of the off-brand pieces that I got a couple of tubs with all the parts being sorted out. I've still got 3 more bags to go through. I haven't touched them in a while, but one of the pieces is this, an arch piece. Like, what? Of all the parts you're going to put in like a bag of common parts, how is this going to get through? And I realised I could use them for the gangways of my coaches. Something a bit more rounded at the top. And, yeah, you know, that's actually pretty cool. So I was able to use, what, about 20 or so, given the amount of coaches, 20 something, just to get through all of these. But yeah, it's actually, you know, a weird part that I now have quite a few of. It's now quite useful. Oh. Right. Might have to get a thing of tissues in a moment. Let's have a quick look at the chat. I'm revising for a 3-hour maths test right now, so I can't interact much, but I'll be listening. Oh, that's okay. A 3-hour test, though. Oh, lordy lord. How did you get the stickers for the coaches? Where are they? They are up there. Oh. So, the actual names are done with letter sheets. I went with gold because gold looks lovely. And I've gone through about 5 of these already. There's a lot of E's and R's I had to go through. Ooh, that's not good with the lighting on the camera. But yes, that's what I did for the names. It's a very simple, you know, just go to a craft store, just get a letter sheet, and that's all you need. As for the middle emblem, which is the Triton Railway crest, those are printed bricks, of which I have 4 left over. And that is very funky indeed. So I'm going to leave those 2 over there. Right, so let's actually do some building, shall we? Right. I'm going to need to take this off. I'm going to need to get some... actually, I don't think I need to grab any more. You know what, I will for this... Oh, I'm going to have to get up again. Here we go. If I move those over there... Yeah, let me move everything out of the way. Yeah, I'm kind of jumping straight into this. I don't really have anything prepped. But at the same time, I have everything I need, so there's no reason to dawdle. Yeah, lovely them. Don't need any of them, that's fine. I bought some parts for the sake of topping up, which is a handy thing to do. But at the same time, it does get expensive. One thing I don't like is when you get a Bricklink order and you get some parts, but the parts are all mixed in a bag with other pieces. That's not what I want. But thankfully in that bag there's nothing I really need. I do need some pieces from there. That's all the main pieces I need. Right, to the drawers. Oh, I've been snivelling quite a bit for the previous stream as well. Here's to hoping I don't do it again this time. The problem is, my roll of tissues is behind the white boards. That's alright though. There's those. We'll get these out for the sake of getting them out. It's a comfort thing. What else did I need? think I'm okay with plates. Right, that'll have to do. I think that's everything I'm going to need. Oh yeah, and we're back down. Okay, hello everyone, welcome back. Right, building. Yes, let's get on and do that, shall we? I wish I bought some more of those. That's not handy. Where are we to? Right, what do we actually need? So that's one bogey done. Let's finish off the other one for Jaeger, and then we can put that one back in the box. Okay. So one thing that I've kind of scooped up with a lot of UK Bricklink stores are black minifigure hands, because they are pretty good at getting some very small details in for railway models. So if I put that, yeah, put it on top of the bag, that's okay. Ooh. Am I going to have enough? Oh, bugger. I tell you what though, yeah, this is what I said previously. So I also forgot to get these tiny cheese slopes in black, because I've been going. This bag was full when I started making these mods. Now it's nearly empty. I forgot to buy some when I made the Bricklink order, but that's ultimately okay because I have a very big box of black parts behind me underneath the bed. If push comes to shove, I can just go through that box and just, oh, let me shuffle this way a bit, there we go. So I want to make sure you can hear me. So I can go through that box and just dig around for those parts afterwards. It's not the end of the world because, you know, you should be quite plentiful. Like, there's still loads of good parts in that big box I can dig through and take out. But it's just an inconvenience of having to go through that box in the first place. Right. Let's see what's where then. Right, there's clip pieces. It's amazing how many parts that I had quite a few of, and now all of a sudden, as I go through these massive mods, like I go through so many of them, and what looks like a nice, healthy, big stash of pieces has been brought down to, you know, you run out basically. It's quite fascinating to how you can go through so many parts you never thought you'd use for a long time. May as well do a bit of sorting whilst I'm getting ready to build. So it is currently 1:20 in the afternoon here in merry old England. I've had a calm day so far. Like, the morning was kind of chill. I was expecting these Bricklink orders to arrive about Friday, but when they showed up in the post today, I was very excited. And this goes into what I said previously, where I can now do a live stream in the day, where there are going to be people who are able to tune in. So why not do a live stream, you know? This is a very impromptu live stream because I wasn't expecting the parts to arrive today. But that doesn't take away from the fact that doing a live stream is very fun, and building Lego is something that a lot of people will want to see. Sorting it is probably not the most exciting thing, but when we get to the building and get to show off the new final model, that will be excellent. You are exactly 23 hours in front of us. 23 hours? No, this is so if I were to put it in 24-hour clock time, it's 13:21. So you're telling me that it's midday. So if I was 23 hours ahead, it would be midday for you. But for you, it should be midnight. What? It's daytime for me, not nighttime. Brick Toy Trains, hello, thank you very much. Oh, that's right, I can... I like how, because of the profanity, YouTube has this feature where it's... Are you sure you want to okay this message? Yes, it's fine, just let him send the damn message. So 12 hours, I'm exactly 12 hours ahead, or like 11, I suppose. Yeah, it's basically midnight for you guys. At the same time, that's really cool. It's midnight for you, but yet you're staying up to watch me anyway, because you love me that much. I tell you what, it's a lot more feasible, I suppose, at this time than it would be for when it's 8 p.m. for me when I traditionally do my live streams. Moving your hands there. I'll leave that be, that's okay. Tell you what, let me have them. You should go to bed, but you're not going to because your brain is fried. Well, I don't go to bed until about 1 o'clock in the morning anyways. And Duck says you are exactly 0 hours ahead of me. Yeah, I know, Duck, because we live in the same country. So joy to us for not having to worry about time zones. Yes, Sabo, we saw your comments about your other accounts earlier. One thing to take into account is if I don't read your comment out loud, that doesn't mean I haven't actually read the comments. There was a couple of people who, in previous live streams, I've had to kind of mute, so to say, where they were like a bit, not so much aggressive, but these are the people that wanted the streamer to read out their comments, and the way they would go about it is a bit frustrating because just because their comment wasn't read out, so they would get a bit loud, let's say. So don't worry, I am reading. I got my phone over here with the chat open. I am reading it all, but reading out loud won't be guaranteed. Yeah, very good. Did I have? Yeah, that was everything done on that one. I think I need to turn around slightly. Hang on, let me after this I'll reposition myself. Alright, let me have the coach. Let me check it on that side. I'll check those there. Let me check that one over here. Alright, let me check that there. Let me try and there we go, just a bit more forward, so that way when you can, you should be able to see me build a bit more. So I need, where's the other one gone? There it is. That's better. So I'm actually more head on. I'm trying to avoid any unflattering angles, but I don't think that's really possible given how this is set up. But at the same time, it is what it is. Time for me to do my usual advertising of the like button. Yes, of course, absolutely. If you like the stream, then press the like button. There we go. I think you're the only person that actually does so, like on my behalf. I think there may have been a couple of people in the past who were excited enough to say, "Go like the stream, guys," but I kind of stopped doing it after a while because people are going to like it anyways. There will be people who will like certain videos, but telling them to like it is a bit meaningless, if that makes sense. The loudest train ever, I just heard, went past my house and will be back in an hour. No point going to bed. Oh no. That's something that's actually quite funky with some places I've seen in America, and I suppose in Australia now as well, where people living close to a railway line we'll just have a train come past every now and then, and it'll be the loudest sodding thing ever. And it goes on for it's a slow moving long goods train basically. And from what I've been told, those are not quite pleasant. Okay, so that is now a finished coach with an updated bogie design. The coach is now named, and the streamlined undercarriage has in turn been shortened by 4 studs. So yeah, that is a new coach. Oh yeah, and the gangways have been updated too. It's pretty good, these things. So that's... I can't actually put it in the box yet because that's... Oh yeah, I bought enough parts to test the motor. Yeah, we'll play around with that. Okay, so I also bought some parts to try and update so this design to go into this design, but for the motors. Now that's kind of difficult because the motor is, well, you know, it's a solid thing. I can actually grab a coach. Hang on. How is it dusty? It was literally cleaned off yesterday. Anyway, so with a motor, if I try from this end, that's better. Okay, so you can see how a motor normally is built. It's very solid, and the only detail you can really get is the sort of, what would you call this, like a frame piece, I suppose. That's the only thing you can really put onto a motor to give it some detail. So yeah, I bought some parts to essentially attempt this sort of thing with the motor. It's possible technically, but I don't think it can quite line up in the way I think it will. If it doesn't, then that's fine, and I've got some parts topped up for future use. But it's the sakes of having it all look a bit more uniform. But again, if it doesn't, then so be it. But I do have some ideas, potentially, that could work. I shall leave that there. 8 years ago, I used to rent a house near a railway station in Idling. The idling of the locos would rattle every window in the house. Why is everything in the description all capital? Is it? Come on, come on. Yeah, so you got the, well, the links are all capitalized for the sake of them being, it's the first thing you see, so it's a very in-your-face sort of thing. Underneath is the traditional stream thing anyways, and underneath that in the description, like the bottom paragraph in the description, is just a heads up to people who, well, it's not so much a heads up, but basically there were people who, oh, speaking of loud things outside, another car engine. It's basically a way to kind of scare people off, so to say, because there was somebody who a long while ago re-uploaded a couple of my videos. I've never had any copyright issues before that point, and there was this person who decided to just re-upload a couple of my videos, and I was able to successfully get those ones taken down. And going forward, it's just a way of just typing in, you know, knock it off. That's all you got to do. Luke is just making sure people with bad eyesight can read too. Yes, it's basically that. Now, we may as well finish this one off. And besides, with things in capital letters, you know, that's the thing that you need to read first. Or at least that does in my mind. So this is actually interesting. So here's the story. Time for another episode of Triton's Tales. That's the thing that got deleted because the live streams took over. Anyway, when I was in college, one of the courses I did was product design, and my teacher was he was a good teacher, but there was this quirk about him, so to say, where he wanted everything that was written, like handwritten, he wanted everything to be written down in all capitals. So I had to get used to writing in all capitals, because if my work was going to be accepted, that's just something I had to get used to. That's all it really was, which was a bit stupid because, if you can read the writing, what difference does it make whether it's in all capitals if it's just written normally? But because of him, I got used to writing in all capitals, or at least handwriting in all capitals. And that translated to the other classes that I did. And that also kind of took into how I type digitally as well. I'll open up a Word document and I'll write normally, but there will be a number of things like in my schedule, for example. There's a number of areas that are just written in all capitals because it's kind of, again, that's kind of what I've gotten used to. Skate pieces, that's what I need to get. I'll have to grab that tray in a moment. Because there's more right here. I wonder if I've got, I should have enough. So I need to split through a couple of other pieces now. Some of which I've got the trays for. So that's good. There. I like how we're counting up things in the chat as well. Keep going, you'll get to 5 gold rings. So yeah, that's basically why everything in the description is in all capitals, because one teacher back in college forced me to write in all capitals. And yeah, it's something I'm still doing to this day. Like when I go to write a greetings card, it will unintentionally be in all capitals. I don't think I've ever been called out for it, so to say, but there was definitely times where I read back the card and I realised, oh, bugger, I've just written it all in block capitals. Probably shouldn't have done that. It's supposed to be an intimate card, but a bit too late for that, you know? So, yeah. Those are all skates. Lovely. I can chuck those there. Got a handful of black minifigure skates. These are excellent detail pieces because the shape of them is pretty good. So you can, well, if you don't know what a minifigure skate looks like, it's a bit difficult to show you. I'll just use one of these because that's what I've been doing anyways. So I'm currently using them as axle box design pieces, and again, the shape and the nature of this part, it's pretty good for details. So it's something to consider. Sam Brown, hello, thank you very much for tuning in. I was supposed to be driving a traction engine today, but you can't really do that with a sprained ankle. Oh dearie dear. There's not that much you can do with a sprained ankle to begin with, but good lord, that must be... God, like, I've never had a sprained ankle before. There have been times where I've kind of stood awkwardly, but nothing that's ever occurred to break or sprain my ankle in any such way. God, it must be one of the most painful things your body can do to you. Because when you see, like, it's one of those more visible injuries too, with the cast and the whatever else, etc. But the ankle, I think, I'm not a biologist, so take this next bit with a grain of salt. But I'm pretty sure your ankle is like one of the most fragile parts of the body. So for it to break, oh, that I can't even begin to imagine what that feels like. Maybe one day something will occur where I accidentally break my ankle or whatever else. But yeah. This one, that one there. It's definitely not pleasant. I'm icing it right now. That's good. Push those in a bit. A staple of pro Lego designers. It does have the most force going through it. I'm guessing you mean the escape piece. But yeah, it's a very handy piece to have because, again, you can accomplish so much with it. I was talking about two different... Oh, okay, never mind. Oh yeah, the second comment was about angles. Of course it was. Yeah, I don't know if you could tell, but I'm focusing more on the model than I am the chat. But we are getting there, you know. There it is. Oh, bit of lag. Come on. Sorry, I've got notifications coming through on the tablet that lag the stream a bit. Only 8 people. Well, that's 8 people that have been able to tune in for the stream. And that's a good thing. Besides, this is an impromptu stream as well. There is no golden time of day for me to do a live stream because of all the people that tune in regularly are scattered across different time zones. So, yeah. Will that lag you on Australian internet or something? No, this is British internet, and the reason why I've said this plenty of times, the lag comes from 2 things. First of all, the tablet I'm using to live stream isn't a high quality tablet. It's a series I bought this tablet for about £90, like brand new in a tech shop. I only bought this tablet for the sole purpose of YouTube stuff, or like watching something on Twitch, for example. That was literally it, just for the sake of not burning through the battery on my phone. And it's a separate device to do, things like this. So this is good. And the camera is quite bad, and it is what it is. But I didn't want to buy anything that was purposefully expensive. Yeah. So yeah, well, £90 for a tablet is one of the cheaper things. Is definitely on the cheaper end. Oh yeah, I need to modify this. Yes, British Bricks is Australian, and yes, he is a genius. I haven't interacted with him in a while, to be honest. I wonder what he's up to. Probably busy getting on with live things. He doesn't post that often, but, well, publicly at least, he does have a Patreon. But every now and then he does make a video, and you do see a chunk of progress that he's made, which is pretty cool. Oh, I need my tweezers. Because, well, maybe I don't need them. Okay. Just to act as my brick separator. Have I got this right? Sorry, just trying to remember how I did this bit. Yeah, yeah, that was it, that way around. There we go. Have any of you checked out Glenn Holland's channel yet? I tuned in a moment ago, well, not a moment ago, but not that long ago, where he did a live stream by himself, and he showed off a couple of new models that he made. But yeah, Glenn and his lot of builders, they're on a different level of building, but the way they build their models is definitely very detailed. But when you look at something like the valve gear, that's very specific, and I don't really like that. Not to say it looks bad, but I feel like that's a bit too far, if that makes sense. I mean, it's difficult to put it into words because I'm not saying anything bad about the model or him, but I suppose it's just a build preference thing, I don't know. Again, Not bad by any means. I'm not trying to indicate that. It's just, you know, there are some parts of his models that I'm not quite there on, if that makes sense. Do you play or used to play any musical instruments? Technically, yes. So this is another good story. I'll tell you what, I'll tell it in just a second. So let me just grab a pair of tweezers and let me wipe my nose, because it's getting a bit annoying now. What? And that does mean I have to move the almighty whiteboard. Aha. Breaking the immersion. There we go. Hello, we're back. So, sorry, stand by for this, just in case I make any minging noises. The toilet paper's for my nose. That's why. Ugh. I'd rather clean my nose now instead of making a bunch of horrible snotty noises as I breathe every now and then. Ah. Right, where were we? Where's my drink? Did I put it up there? Is it that one? No, I suppose it's this one. Okay. Anyways, to the good stuff. Right, I saw a couple of questions in chat, so I'll answer that musical instrument question in just a second. Luke likes his trains to be toy trains than scale models. Well, it's more of a preference thing now. I mean, I've got what I've built. They're not dedicated proper scale models, but I'm definitely more on the fun side of the Lego train hobby. I would much rather build a whimsical train than a hardcore looking train. Like, this Express is the most hardcore thing I've ever built, but that, you know, this is it. That'll do. I've got the Blue Goose, I've got other Real Locos, I've got Giants, I've built Thomas characters, for goodness sakes. That's more my sort of speed. So the stuff that Glenn Holland and the more hardcore Lego train builders have made, again, it's not me saying they're bad at all. It's just some of the methods they've used to create something. Again, the Valkyrie is the prime example, because it's not um, Lego. You can tell these are 3D printed pieces dedicated for the model. And again, that's cool because that's an advancement in the hobby. But that's just not something I would ever do. That's basically it. And besides, seeing people make a Lego version of a template train, like Henry Mack did, that's cool. That's just so cool. That's more my speed. I like that. Besides, Lego's a toy, so you know. Remember that. Just remember that. 5 pieces of Lego and the rest is 3D printed. Do you know Sam's Trains? Yes, I do. I have been a subscriber of Sam's Trains for a couple of years. And there was definitely a bit of fuss that kicked up, especially recently, where a bunch of people have been attacking Sam's Trains for things. It's a bit complicated. I'm not going to go into it here, but yeah, the Sam's Trains audience is getting a bit more interesting. I mean, I'm subscribed to him because, you know, he reviews 00 gauge British locomotive models. That's all I'm there for. So yeah. Oh, we sorry, stand by if you can hear me. Sorry, the stream on my phone lagged for a second. He's live now. Both yours and his live streams are yellow and red themed, so he does have good taste after all. I tried to build lots of detail into mine, but budget forces me to use rainbow bricks. Well, if you can build the model with the bricks that you have, doesn't matter what the color. This is something I've said a couple of times, but if you can build the model that you want with the bricks that you have, doesn't really matter about the color, so long as you got the model you want there. Excellent. That's what you need to worry about. Only focus on getting the pieces in the right colors after you know you've got the model. The reason why I don't do this personally is because when I do bricklink orders, I buy way more than I need for the model I'm currently building as a way of topping up on parts. But you know, again, it's an excellent method to do it. There is a this is going to be interesting for some people. There is a what's it called? An acronym? An acronym called Bollocks, built of lots of colors. There's a reason why it's a good acronym. Well, two reasons actually. But yeah, you know, do it that way. Oh yes, I need to grab some tiles. There we go. Right. So back to that question earlier about musical instruments. So when I was in school, in secondary school, I was doing my GCSEs and I had to pick 5 subjects I wanted to go further into. So I picked my main 4 and they were all creative focused. And the last one was a bit interesting because I thought, okay, I know the 4 I want to do, but I have to pick a 5th one. So I thought, you know what, what's an easy one? What would be a good easy one? Something a bit creative as well. So I went with music. GCSE music was interesting to say the least, but it was definitely fun. And I was, you know, I got a good thing going for it. And it definitely came to a time where you had to learn an instrument. You know, of course you had to. And in turn, you had to do a performance as part of the ultimate end exam. So the instrument I chose to learn was the drums. I used to be a good drummer. I was technically one of 2 drummers in the class, but I was the one that was more focused on drumming. And there was a good number of songs I could do drums to, but since GCSE music was finished, I haven't touched a pair of drums since. So that's a bit of a shame because there are some songs I listen to whilst I'm out with friends every now and then and go, oh yeah, I remember I used to be a good drummer for this. They'll look at me and go, what, you? I was like, yeah, me. But yeah, again, those days are kind of long gone. So yeah, I used to be a drummer. I mean, a decent one for a school kid, but you know, that was pretty much it. But the thing is with me, I didn't just do the standard, well, like you're saying there, brick toy trains. It's not just that I did. I went all in as much as I could. That's why I stuck as the class drummer, so to say. Instead of, well, again, there was me and another person in the class who learned drums, but he kind of backed off, not because of what I did, because he had different aspirations, but I stuck to, as well, I kind of default became the class drummer because it was just, yeah, I just stuck to it. Right, those are now shorter. Maybe that one about there. There we go. Here we are, getting along nicely. Getting away a bit more detailed as well. This one is called Pierce. I'll let you guess which Pierce this one is. Clubmate and a friend. And a lovely man in the hobby. That's that one. I could technically use those. Definitely needs working gangways. Maybe one day. At the same time, I don't think I will bother with that because this is as far as I'm probably going to go with the coaches. So yeah. Right. I've got to fetch more parts. Can I just not build in peace, please? No, can't do that. It's easier to get the parts over here. Oh, come along now, look at that. So, this is a wall of 2x2 bricks. It's pretty cool, isn't it? It's quite a lot. So that's 5 out of 8 bags of the off-brand pieces. I've got about 3 more to go still. See that lights? Look at the lights! Isn't that just lovely? Anyway, I need some of them, so I'll keep that over there. I do, in fact, need a couple of these, some 1x2s. Another way of stacking pieces up. This is just a bunch of 1x2s. Nope. Yep, those over there. That reminds me of a thing I remember seeing on YouTube a while back of someone making a series of Lego models where it was literally, they were structures of the same brick just stacked up in a bunch of weird ways. It was a simple thing. That's a sort of thing that I've done to just keep pieces together. But it was quite cool just seeing the towers that some people were making. Really is amazing what you can make out of Lego, you know. That way around. That way around there. One of them. Oh, some of these parts really are dusty. That's something that really gets on my nerves. Like, seriously, it's in a box protected. How is it covered in dust? The Chinese brand Kurgo typically use a lot of 1x1s, 1x2s, and 1x3s. Oh. I suppose it's a good thing for the sakes of building up a bunch of those parts. Just for stacking them for storage. Can't do that. These are my square 1x1s. Just put them in a tray, you know. If you're going to store them properly. Stop it. Get some help. Don't know if you can tell, but I'm having a bit of fun here. I need to need to remember how I actually did this. So yeah, there was one on. Okay. You're lucky, Luke, from the country that gave us bands like Suey and the Banshees, the Smiths, Sisters of Mercy, Bauhaus, Pulp, Oasis, and so much more. What has Australia got? Nick Cave. No idea who Nick Cave is. Lucky Luke was a cowboy. I'll tell you what, there was a period of time, thanks to me playing a bunch of Fallout New Vegas, there was a stretch of time where I listened to a bunch of country music that came from the game. Where did I? There it is. You have to go. Thank you so much for tuning in, Saba, for as long as you have. Thank you once again. I shall see you when I see you. Almost done with my Baldwin RF16 Sharknose ABA set. Ooh. Ooh, yes. Where is... There they are. I'll keep those two together because that's where they need to be. And better idea, let me get all of those. So here's my box of 2 compartments. It holds these 1x2 clip pieces, and then the other end, the other sort of U-clip pieces. I ran out to a point where I only had one left, but now, which I can't really show you because it's all out of shot, I've got a bag. Well, no longer technically a bag full of them because I emptied the bag, but now it's all over the floor. There we go, we're getting there. Just loads of these, there we go, so we can fill it back up. Isn't that just the best? England is the country that gave us the best comedians and comedies. I could agree there. There's an old show that none of you would likely have heard of that was made in 1974 and ran to 1981 called It Ain't Half Hot Mum. It's a sitcom based in 1945 at the tail end of the Second World War, following a company of British soldiers who are called the Concert Party, who basically performed for soldiers coming through the area. British soldiers, that is. It's a very interesting show because it's very of its time, but it would never air today. It would not be allowed to air today. But God, it's so good. It's a really funny show, and it had a very emotional. I remember watching that. I got the whole thing on box set, DVD box set, and for the last episode, I actually cried. Like when they were on the train on the way home, I actually cried. It was weird because it was only I binged the entire series, but at the same time, it was like that sense of growing with the characters and whatever else. It was really quite the something. So yeah, it is a very good show. You can't really find it on any streaming service anywhere. If you want to watch it, you're gonna have to find a DVD of it, pretty much. Have I seen Railway Roundabout? That rings a bell. Is Railway Roundabout basically the Top Gear version for steam engines? Because again, that does sound familiar. Ooh. Ooh. Dropping pieces now. Cutting three of these 1x1 round plates to make a sort of spring detail. Something that is very simple and yet very effective. Oh yeah, speaking of things, just seeing the notification on my phone, I want to give a quick shout out to something. Awesome Games Done Quick 2023 is live right now. Started on Sunday evening. Well, it was Sunday evening for me when it started. It's going right now. It's a 24/7 stream, raising money for charity. It's the best thing ever. And like for all, like the stream that what's the marathon? That's the word. The marathon they're doing right now is another online one, which is an interesting choice to say the least. But it's they don't need to do it online anymore. But the marathon is always going to go on, which is excellent. And it is a very, very good thing to watch. So if you like video games and you like seeing them be speedrun, after this stream, just go onto Twitch, type in Games Done Quick, and just enjoy yourself because it's the best thing ever. Something I'm going to be doing after this live stream. Oh, come on. Yeah, so yeah, Railway Roundabout is what I'm thinking of, yeah. Thank you very much, Lucian, for tuning in for as long as you have. I shall see you later on. Come on. Ready for these. This is a very singular process, This is the same thing I'm having to do over and over again because I'm repeating the same builds with the same details, but ultimately it will be worth it because when I see the full express running, which will be an interesting thing in of itself because it is now a 13 coach express thanks to the twin articulated and the half coach that I've built. It's gonna be quite long, but still, all these upgraded coach designs, it's gonna be glorious, and they're all named, and it's just gonna be the best thing ever to see. Really exciting stuff. This one for them. Yeah, okay. Right, so that one up there. This is another thing you need to get used to doing as well, where some more loose pieces need to be lined up in just such a way where they work, you know? So I'm having to make sure that this clip piece here is in front of the sort of stud piece on the wheel bracket, so that way it lines up and it creates the appropriate detail. Not a difficult task, but it's one that takes a few extra seconds, and then you get to the point where you think, oh Christ, it's lunchtime already, what have I been doing? That's what I've been doing. You know, these things, they do take time. Right. After this coach, it'll be, okay, the twin articulated coach. I don't think I'm going to, yeah, I'm not going to bother with the motors, to be honest. I don't want to touch the motors too much in case it ruins the look. And I'm actually okay with how they look in comparison to the rest of the other coaches. That's fine. So, after this bogie is done, that will be Pierce, fully up to date. And then we can commence work on Falconer and Doubtfire, which are the twin articulated coaches, which both of them need the upgraded bogie wheel design. The streamlined undercarriage will need to be shortened. And I'm also going to have a look into upgrading the look of the Jacobs bogie itself, because that is a bit simple. And I've got the parts to make it look better. So that's what we'll be doing after this one is done, which will be in just a few minutes. Oh. So that's, right, don't need to touch anything on that side. Everything's over here. Okay. Oh, I'll tell you what, this was a pretty good project. This was definitely a good time-consuming project. And I'm glad this has happened in the way that it has, because some of the Nerf projects I've had have fallen flat, which is a real shame. So to talk about Nerf stuff now, because that is something else I do on this channel, I've got 2 more Nerf videos ready to upload in the coming days as well. So, you know, just a friendly reminder, that's another thing that I do, another hobby that I am into. What's your favourite video game? Honestly, I'm not even... I've been falling out of love with video games recently. For the longest time, it was basically Skyrim. But I haven't been able to play Skyrim since the Anniversary Edition came out, because it basically ruined my PC. Like, if I'm going to have to play Skyrim again, I will have to get an all-new PC, one that runs much faster and is much more tailored to bigger video games today. So I suppose, if anything, that, or like, what Fallout game would I say? I'll probably say Fallout 3, because Fallout 3 was my first Fallout game, and Mothership Zeta is my favorite DLC. A lot of people see Mothership Zeta as bad, and fair enough, I don't disagree with their points, but it was such a fun experience for me. So as a favorite game, probably Skyrim or Fallout 3. Speaking of video games, I forgot to, so I went out this morning to grab a few bits, just do a bit of shopping. I thought, you know what, whilst I'm out, I'm going to buy a Steam gift card so I can get myself the Mob of the Dead DLC for Black Ops 2 Zombies. Because Call of Duty Zombies is something I play every now and then, as well as the what's it called? Modern Warfare 3 survival mode. That's what it is. Just, it's just something to do every now and then. It's a fun thing, but when the challenge runs out, that's when you get a bit bored of it, or when you die too suddenly, you think, "Ah, sod this," and you just disappear and kind of leave it for a few days. But I haven't played Mob of the Dead in the longest time. I got all the DLCs and all the maps for Xbox 360, but I haven't plugged that in forever. So I'm going to get it on PC instead. But I forgot to do that today, and yeah, it's kind of annoying me a bit because it's an inconvenience to have to go out a second time. I mean, nothing's stopping me, but if I'm going to go out and get something, I want to make sure I can get a couple of bits at a time. So the gift card for something I was going to get for myself whilst I was out this morning, but I forgot to, so I thought, great, I'll have to wait until another time tonight. I might even get it when I go in later on. Yeah, we'll see. Right. That goes in there. And that is another coach. Done and done. Updated burger design. The camera looks filthy. This is not a high quality stream, but I'll tell you what, it's still a lot of fun though. So thank you so much for everyone for tuning in though, because there's moments like this where I realise, oh, this is actually what I'm doing, but there are people who are interested enough to want to stick around. So thank you again so much. We've got minifigures inside as well. So it just looks good, you know. Is it this one? Yes, it is this side. You can see Mr. Man in the middle there. Well, kind of. Trying to look through the window. There we go. That middle line piece on the window there is kind of in the way of his eye line. But yeah, there we go. There. Right. Let's have a quick break. Bit of a stretch. Ooh. More exciting than watching Nerf guns, lol. Okay, first of all, blaster. This is a genuine thing in the hobby where if you refer to it as a gun, you get yelled at. It's a blaster, not a gun. Secondly, Nerf is spelled with an E. God, get it right. And thirdly, thank you for reminding me that I was talking about something Nerf related a moment ago before I got distracted with finishing the coach. Right. I want to figure out the Jacob's bogey on this thing first. Yeah, let's do that now. I'm going to need... Am I going to need more parts? Let's try, yeah, no, I'll keep it as is for now. Let's see what we can do. Okay. Well, I've got the pieces anyways. Alright, first of all, Brick Toy, you didn't have to worry about deleting the comment. It's fine. It's okay, genuinely. And Sam, I glimpsed that comment, but I didn't get to read it. What was it you said? Come on, you got me curious now. Anyway, let's talk about Nerf blasters then. I'll save the pieces for later on. I want to make sure that's a lesser priority. So, Falconer, let's start with you. Anyways, so why is everything so dusty? So the Nerf videos that I had in mind that I wanted to do recently were a series of reviews. They have all been recorded, and they will be going up in the coming days. I want to try and stagger the Nerf review videos with the showcase videos I got for the coaches here. But that kept being pushed back because there's a bunch of upgrades happening to the coaches. They've all got names, the burger designs is done, and etc. So again, here we are now doing this live stream, for example. I said that, thank you for saying that for me. I was going to say it myself, but now I don't have to. Well, again, you don't need to worry about deleting the comments. It's rare for me to delete comments for anything in the first place, so again, you're good. It's fine. Anyways, other videos that I had for Nerf content was a couple of re-releases of Nerf combos for a select few blasters. mainly because of their modularity and because of their age. New attachments have come out since then, and I think, well, with the new attachments, there's potential for new combo ideas. But they kind of fell flat. I mean, there are definitely ideas there, but I kind of lost interest soon after. I thought, well, it'd be cool for me to do, but it's just kind of unnecessary. A lot of it's going to be very samey. The three main combos are going to be very samey to begin with, but yeah, you know, there's not enough there to really go all in for it. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I don't like upsetting anyone unless they deserve it. Well, again, I'm not upset by it. It's a mean thing, really. Saying that a Nerf gun is a Nerf blaster and whatever, like that sort of thing. It is not a serious thing, but it is a genuine thing that people go on about. But you have like the only people that get upset by it are proper sulky gits, basically. And I can confidently tell you now, I am not one of those people. I promise. But yeah. Did you ever get those blasters working you showed on a stream a while ago? You mean the camouflage ones, the ones I got on eBay, the small soldiers blasters? Because they do technically work. Yeah, okay, so again, they do technically work. The only issue is I don't have the ammo to fire them. I've modified a few darts to try and fit them down the barrel in order for it to work properly, but the issue is the darts aren't responding properly to the blasters, and again, the blasters do work, but in order for them to fire different darts, you'd have to modify the blaster to be able to do that. And given the rare nature of those blasters, I don't want to modify them because, again, they're very rare. So if I modify them, I would have to go all in and I would have to know exactly what I'm doing. But I don't know exactly what I would be doing if I was going to be modifying them for that. So I'm going to leave them as they are. I don't want to mess around with them. I don't want to break them or ruin them. So they will be just items that will be in my collection. Which is a bit of a shame because I ultimately will never ever be able to fire them. But yeah, you know, it is what it is. I'm not fussed about that. The blaster is what I have, and that's my kind of main priority. I've got something that still does work, but at the same time, it's again. I'm trying to put it in. Sorry, I got a sneeze potentially coming. I'm trying not to focus on it. Ugh. I've distracted myself from what I was saying. Um, Basically, they work, they're fine. I don't have the ammo to fire them, and I'm not going to modify them or potentially break them to make it work. So let's just go with that. Sorry. This is why I needed a tissue on standby. My nose is all tingly. I think I'll be alright. But, yeah, if you see me suddenly snatch myself away, just be ready for a loud, well, not so much a sneeze, but it'll literally be an explosion. I got proper dad explosion sneezes. I'm only 24, and yet my sneezes sound like bombs going off. It's horrible. I recently finished a large Lego supercar mod. It's scale for the old Technic figures. Oh yeah, which one? My dad has the Bugatti Chiron set, and he recently decided to rebuild that as well. So, yeah, it could be anything. You're getting old. Yeah, every day goes by and I feel old. But I'll tell you what though, one thing that keeps me feeling young is the fact that my living conditions are going to be the same for a good long while. But we've had that discussion and arguments in other places, and that is miserable, which is, you know, again, something beyond control. Yeah, my dad likes Lego too, but my dad is near enough the opposite of me. I do a lot of custom stuff. He basically sticks to sets. it's incredibly rare for him to build something custom. Like, for example, over Christmas, we got all of the winter sets together for a winter display of sorts for our mantelpiece. And he'll make a couple of scenes. Again, he won't modify any of the sets, but they'll kind of, again, not modify, so to say, but he'll work around and make a couple of scenes with some of the figures. Like, that's as far as it will go for him to make custom stuff. So yeah, I've also kept on teasing every now and then to say, you should join the lug. Come on, join the Lego user group. You'll basically be at home. You don't have to worry about all the custom stuff. You're with Lego fans, and you'll definitely be beneficial. Like, you'll be gaining benefit from it because you're with people that like the same thing you do. Welcome back, Saba. Thank you very much for tuning in once again. We're still here. We're going to be here for a while still. And yeah, so my dad is he's the sets person in the family. I'm the mock person in the family. There we go. Right. Sorry, hang on. If I were you, turn down the stream for the next 20 seconds. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry. I thought that cold was gone by now. Right, where were we? Ah, yes. We were actually talking about Nerf stuff earlier, but keep distracting myself. So let's get back on track to that. So whilst everyone in the family is not quite a Lego fan, me and my dad definitely are. I'm guessing that it was your dad that got you into Lego. Yes, when I was only a few years old, my dad, so he tells me, the first time that I was exposed to Lego was an old set, which was basically a yellow car of some kind. And he says that he remembers showing it to me and kind of taking a liking to it, and Lego stuck around since. I think even then, at this point, like at the age I am now, 24, I still think I would have taken a liking to Lego. I don't know if it would be as intense as it would be now if I were to say, well, even then, because I'm thinking back for the past 7-8 years with the stuff that I posted on YouTube of some of the very simple models I made. So even then, I feel like this would be inevitable anyways, with the stuff I'm making, and the fact that I put it on YouTube was just a bonus of sorts. Well, if younger me made some different financial decisions, it would definitely be more further along with the Lego side of things. But that's nothing to really talk about anyways. It's New Year, we're wiser now. Anyways. It's inspired by the Ferrari F40, but it's not supposed to be the F40. Oh, okay. Big Technic cars, though. They're naturally popular. Right, Nerf stuff, because for goodness sakes, stop distracting me. I'm trying to talk about foam dart blasters, for goodness sakes. It's another hobby I enjoy. Stop reminding me that Lego was cooler. Anyways, so some of the Nerf stuff I want to do. Most of it fell through because the ideas I had didn't really go anywhere. There was no real point to them. Like the combos being remastered, they didn't work because they came out very samey. There was a couple of mods I wanted to try because there's a guy on YouTube and in the hobby called Al the Geek, that's his name. You can find him on YouTube, and he's made some mods of blasters that are just insane, but specifically he's made something called a master key. So a master key is a smaller, well, firearm, so to say, underneath the main blaster that basically acts as, secondary ammo, like a grenade launcher or that master key shotgun they would normally see in Call of Duty. But that's what a master key is. It's a secondary, smaller weapon that fires its own projectile underneath your main blaster. But what Al has done, he has made something like with a small strife, long ass barrel, you know, standard sort of build at the back, but the long barrel holds this huge 40 dart cylinder drum blaster that acts as the master key, and it's so insane. I thought I would love to try that one day. Like with what I've got over there with my regulator setup, the master key I have is the modified shell strike, and that's kind of the best one I've got. I recently tried to get my custom modified demolisher launcher to work, and it still kind of does, but Jolt King was right in the sense that the rail attachment is just too weak. So if I was going to get that to work, it would have to be a hand pump thing with an air tank, similar to how the Moto Blitz shotgun master key works, or the what's it called, the mediator barrel. That's the one where you pump it a few times and you press a button on the side and that fires the darts. But that's, you know, that again, that's his own thing. I can't really work around that, and I can't really be bothered to either, because, you know, there are complications in how I want it to work, but it's just not going to work, so I've had to leave that be. But another thing I wanted to do was experiments with having a strife as a master key, a full-on semi-automatic flywheel blaster as a dedicated master key. So, make it work. It requires skills I do not have and do not really care to learn. Also, hello Milo, thank you very much for tuning in. Ah. Right, I need to take that down about 2 studs. Let's try that. That should actually work. Miller, since you're here, did you see the pictures I put in the chat of the named coaches? Because I'm pretty sure one of those pictures is one you will like. So I need another 6. I did not. Well, go through train chat and keep scrolling up until you see a couple of pictures from me from yesterday. And when you do, you can kiss me later. I wonder if that should work, because it's basically the same. Because it's there. Let me figure. Hang on. Let me figure it out. Sorry, this is the streamlined undercarriage for these two coaches works a bit differently because of the Jacobs bogie that goes here. These undercarriage pieces are longer than all the other coaches, so I need to make sure that these are going to be working in the way that I think they will. I'm going to have to take those off for the sake of testing. Power there. Yep, okay, cool. So that also puts to good use the 1x8 tiles I now have. Right? Oh, for goodness sakes. I'm going through so many of the 1x6 tiles, I can't keep doing that. How many more can I actually use? Well, I don't really have the choice here, but that's quite frustrating. Alright, very well then. I shall get some 1x4s as well. Why don't you send some of your custom liveries into Block Junction? Because Block Junction is... Well, I'll answer that in just a second. I need to grab some more parts. Oh. Oh. You can definitely tell I'm getting older because I'm making noises as I'm getting up and sitting down. A physical activity has to be accommodated with me going. Yeah, that's the ultimate indicator of someone's getting old. Anyway, so the reason why nothing I have built is on Block Junction yet is mainly because the guy who runs Block Junction, first of all, is a fellow club member, but the designs that go on there are ones that specifically people would find attractive enough to want in the first place. So some of the stuff I've built, yeah, it'll be good enough to go on in a way to make instructions, but you know, there is a process as to what actually should and will go on there. So I could definitely say to him, what do you say about these particular models potentially going through the works to make instructions to go on Block Junction? But he has the final say. So it would be cool, but there is a procedure. I guess I can't post links here. Well, what is it you're going to link, first of all? Tell me what you want to link, and we'll go from there. I've been a bit fussy about links recently, so that's a fair enough thing for you to say to begin with. But yeah, what is it you want to link or show us? Wow. Sorry again for all the horrible sniffing noises. My nose has betrayed me once again. It actually feels awful. Ugh. Right? Oh, that's someone loose in there. A picture of the supercar I mentioned earlier. I suppose you could link it, just so long as the link isn't a million characters long. Because I made that, like, from Google Images, I suppose you mean. So there was something I did where I wanted to link the picture of something that I found on the stream, and I wanted to post it in the chat. And it turned out the link was an eternity long, because you only see so much in the actual search bar. So why is it different here? What's it doing? How nimble are you? Can you cross both legs up? So, similar to how I am now. Oh, I used to be very nimble and very good with gymnastics. So, you mean that? Yeah, that's not comfortable for me anymore. So, I suppose I could, but it's not quite what I want to do. Sorry, I'm trying to think as well with this bloody thing. What's different here? So I just got rid of that. What? Ay, ay, ay. Right, if I can just, right, hang on. Let me focus on getting this sorted out first, and we can go from there. Because that will help me organise what I'm looking at. Where is the 1x6? The link is only 28 characters. I already tried posting it, but it didn't work. Well, if it didn't work, then that is what it is. Then. I mean, if you're in the Discord server, you can link it there, or the Disco server, as someone yesterday mentioned. Who was it? Who was it? I think Bricktoy. Was it you that said that the Discord server was like the Disco server or something like that? This is actually driving me mad as well. What the hell? Why is it different? Not enough ease in Miller. Oh, don't tell me I need to speak up again. We've gone through this. question was it you that described the Discord server as the disco server? Somebody mentioned, well, when I was talking about Discord yesterday, or not yesterday, but in the previous stream, somebody misheard me and put in chat the disco server, and I can't remember who it was. Oh, it was you, yeah. That's all. The dingo server. Right, the fact that that's different is actually really driving me mad. So, that way. Oh, that way, right. Let me pinch one of you. Right, that is not at all how I thought that would go. I do apologise for the silence there, but for goodness sakes, that was more stupidly difficult than it should have been. But that has been modified as such. And who is rattling around on the inside? It's you. Right. Some of these minifigure legs seem to be a bit weak, because I don't think it's the jumper plate that's causing the problem. I still need to find some more minifigures from, I suppose, well, you know, there's still the station box I can go through, because that has the most, really. I suppose, as well, given what was just sent, let me shuffle closer a bit more, so hopefully I can be heard. Now on to aerospace technology and the industry revision. Not quite as bad as maths. Well, if there was another club member here, he would go on and on about maths. So, if anything, you're quite lucky here. Let me put this over there. Right, that's that one. Right, let's do this thing now, because I don't want to drive myself bloody insane again. Sixes, come here. That's fine, that's all okay, that's all okay. I don't understand what's enjoyable about maths, to be honest. Well, I don't either, which is why I don't do math stuff anymore. Seriously, I'm one of those people that has never used any proper math equation for anything in my adult working life so far. So that's 1-0 to me. I get a 6, then get a 4. So lucky. Oh yes. Well, the thing is, the sad thing is, in time, you will find out for yourself that you won't need to use as much as what you were, well, depending on what you're revising for. I only got so far in the education system, and here I am, a Lego builder on YouTube. It's not the most, you know, professional thing ever. But at the same time, I haven't been able to put to use much of what I have learned whilst I was in college. Not the greatest thing ever. But at the same time, some of that was beyond my control. Another one of them. This was much simpler. Okay, thank God. Oh, Christ, without throwing it across the room. Ah, that's one of them. There you go there. This one here, that one there. Just as a reminder, tell you what, since I've got this here, you can see that with a lot of these sort of slope brick, well, you kind of see, or at least understand that some of these slope bricks have a bit of an edge to them at the bottom where my finger is kind of trying to point to. It's like a half plate thick sort of edge along there. If I want to get a smooth surface, the combination of a brackets piece with a side stud wall brick can help eliminate or smooth out some of these bricks that you want to use to create a certain look or detail. And that is pretty good for something like this, for example, because you can see here that if I try and put it on the, well, again, the front camera doesn't focus. And again, this is a cheap tablet, so it's not the best thing to show you. But this, again, it's really difficult to kind of show you because there's no focus. But that's basically a super smooth finish from the slope brick onto the tile. There are better demonstrations out there, but what was that? 3, okay. But yeah, it's something to keep in mind for future building, if you so desire. Dad has 10 sausages for the barbecue. He drops 2 on the grass on the way out. He cooks 6 and serves 4. How many sausages has he got? He's got enough. That's how many. Making me figure out maths. How dare you? Right. I think, actually, you know what? The only maths I need to really worry about is how much money I'm spending when it comes to making Britlink orders. So I think, if anything, basic mathematics, like addition, helped there. $10 because nobody ate them. Oh, fair enough. More for him. I need that one there. So that one on the back. Another pile on there. Depends if the ones he had consumed counts. Well, he had 10 to begin with, so if anything, he just had 10. Don't make me get my triple finger. Don't make me get out the triple finger. The triple middle finger. Bloody hell. Never mind about maths. Can you read? Bloody Nora. Yeah, we're going to pretend I didn't do that. Moving onwards. Lego. Isn't it lovely? I don't think I need that. Let's use these. Oh dear. Anyways. What the bloody Nora happened there? Okay. Sorry about that. I suppose there was a bit of a connection issue. Oh. Not the most comforting thing when that happens. You're back. Yes, thank goodness. I mean, I haven't had any Wi-Fi issues for a long while, so thankfully it didn't kick in whilst I was streaming. Would be quite a shame if it did. Never noticed anything. Yeah, I suppose that's good, because it was a very quick and sudden drop or change. There's nothing really major to take into account there, so that's a good thing. I'm going through a lot of these one by ones. Blame it on SpaceX, everybody else has. Well, yeah. Alright then. Damn you, SpaceX, and your future technology. It's like that meme of Grandpa from The Simpsons yelling at Cloud. Old man yells at Cloud, that's what it's called. That's what we're doing here. Quite literally yelling at the clouds because, you know, SpaceX. It's all very clever, it's so connected. Oh, you thought this through, didn't you? Ooh. So are these? We have made some good progress on these wheels. Tesla is trying to roll out a 5G network. Or Telstra, as you seem to have put. I wouldn't be surprised if that was an autocorrect, because my phone is the absolute worst for autocorrect. Telstra, that's a new one. It's like the Russian knockoff version of Tesla. Do you like the Wings of Fire novel series? Well, here's the best way I can answer that question. I've never even heard of it. So, I think that is a default answer, which is a bit of a shame. Telstra is Australia's telecom. Oh, it's an actual thing. Oh, okay. I thought that was supposed to be Tesla, but it was auto-corrected. Well, I suppose that would also make sense as to why I wouldn't have heard of it, because, you know, I'm Australian. But, yeah, fair enough. I suppose 5G is the next stage forwards. Let's do from here. Oh, nice big column as well. Speaking of all the packed bricks from earlier, nice big column of 1x6 bricks. So chunky, I love it. Anyways. That one there. And now to do the pole pieces. Again, Telstra is Australia's #1 and longest network. Oh, fair enough. Again, I wouldn't know because I'm not Australian. I'll tell you what, I'm pretty sure by default it's better than whatever we've got here in the UK. Literally everything is falling apart and it's just the worst. I'm pretty sure I've got more of these clip pieces somewhere. Like amongst all of the other bags of Brittling quarter parts. Let me do one at a time. Well, now you know how trivial it is, it's fact. Yeah, fair enough, you know. I suppose that counts as me learning something new today. Inserts the more you know, that sort of old GIF thing. I haven't seen that in forever, actually. Oh no, am I going to be copyrighted for singing that? Well, it was only whistling, but at the same time, I think I've just done myself dirty there. Nah, we'll be all right. Okay, so that's those ones done. Before we carry on, my nose continues to betray me. Now you're one step closer to winning Trivial Pursuit. I haven't played Trivial Pursuit in forever as well. We had that on the Nintendo Wii, and I remember when we used to play that all the time because it was there was always enough people to want to play it, and we actually cared to play it too. It was also quite cool when you like. I suppose some of the things on Trivial Pursuits are supposedly basic enough for the common person to know, but then you get some of the more hardcore questions, and guessing them to be correct is one thing, but actually knowing them is one of those big brain moments where you stand there with your posh cane and top hat and coat. You, that's sort of a strong thing. Well, actually, no, a better analogy. There's a meme I have saved on my phone for group chats, which is the picture of, oh bloody no, what's his name? Count Dooku. That's it, from Star Wars. In that picture where he stood up and it's got the analogy to his face, signature look of superiority. Like that's the feeling of what you get for when you answer a question, like a difficult question properly on Trivial Pursuit. Big brain time. Oh yeah. I mean, they do still use ring mains in the UK, which have been a thing for over 60 years and have been outdated for much of that. True, very true. Signature look of superiority. Yep, it's pretty. It's a good meme. Get something right, and then you're all high and mighty. Nope. Oh, we are getting there with these wheels too. We've been streaming for nearly 2 hours. Ugh. Sorry, I know that's a horrible noise, but you know, sometimes you can't really avoid it. That's 4. Oh no, one more. I've gone through so many black minifigure hands as well. It's actually insane. I'm gonna have to find that. Yeah, they should be up there. I'll grab that in a moment too. So I had to grab a couple of minifigures I had to hand and pluck the black minifigure hands from them. So I could finish a model before a Brickling quarter. Well, these Brickling quarters arrived, I should say. So now that I've got plenty of pieces left over, I can put those ones back, which is lovely. It's right here in the box. Okay, let's put these back on. One. Since we're doing some maths, let's all count together now. That was 1. That's 2. All together now. Come on, let's all count. Here's 3. And the final one. 4. Maths fact of the day. There we go. If you know, you know. And none of you will. Where's the coach? Bounce fire. It's that one? Yeah. It does look good, you know. Let me grab the Jacob's bogey. So this is now going to be modified to where I can hopefully get some more details on it. That's resemble how these now look. If I get a bit of light on it, there we go. That's like the best lighting I've got all day. It really is not bright today. Compared to the stream that we did a few days ago, it was really sunny, like properly sunny for most of the day. This is just miserable weather. Like the sky is grey. It's not really appealing. But at the same time, only so much we can really do. I need to go now and do the exam. Best of luck, Duck. Thank you very much for tuning in for as long as you have. Here's to hoping it goes well for you. Like a 3-hour exam, like you said earlier. Good lord. Well, it's supposed to be winter over here. Well, yeah, it's winter here as well. But the thing is, I think for you in Australia, like, I don't know if this is just a stereotype, but I think by default, Australia is normally almost always warm and bright. Where Britain is almost always grey and rainy. And when it's winter, like it is now, that could never be more true. Okay, right, let me get that off my lap. Put that one over there. No? Oh, fair enough then. Well, again, I wasn't... I've said this a couple of times, I'm clearly not Australian, so I'm not going to know. And I did say a moment ago that I thought it was a stereotype, so, you know, my apologies there for not having the appropriate information. Cold and miserable, is it? Okay. Glad we're not alone here in Britain for that then. There we go. I'll tell you what, let me just quickly do this thing. So, does anybody else, when they're building something, let me grab an off-brand brick to help demonstrate because it's a lot more visible. Well, well, not really. Yeah, that's not an easy thing for me to show. So basically, with some of these pieces, it's noticeable on these bar pieces as well. On one of the ends of the bar pieces, there will be this small mark where, oh, is that gonna work? So this arch piece on the end here, can you, if I put the light in just such a way, not really, because the camera is so bloody poor. There we go. Okay, so you can see here, there is, oh, come on. So on the arch piece on the top, you can see this tiny little dot. So that is the needle entry points on the injection molding machine for how the brick is formed. And it's on every, because, you know, it's on every single brick. The ejection sprue, yes. This was something I initially learned when I did product design as well, but such information has left my brain since. But besides that, surely I'm not the only person who builds in such a way where they hide those marks. So again, there's one on one of the, where is it? So okay, so on this bar piece, it's facing the camera now, and it's on this top end. And again, you can't see it because of the camera quality, but I'm going to be putting this piece onto another brick in just such a way where you cannot see the sprue. So it looks like a very clean piece. Surely I'm not the only person who does that, right? Because it's a form of cleanliness on the model. Yeah, you know, you try to hide them, make it look a bit better. Thank God I'm not the only one who's insane. Okay, so now I'm going to try and do the same detail for the Jacobs bogey. Yeah, it's sticking out a bit. That's a bit of a problem. Am I going to have to rebuild this? Well, I mean, we could. Not impossible. Your observance, Luke. Yes. Yes, I am. I suppose that also comes from the fact that I've been building for so long. I've been able to recognize the not so much on other models, but it's, again, if I went to a Lego show, for example, I saw how other people made their models. Seeing that little sprue point, I'm not gonna care. You know, it's the model. It is what it is. But for my models, knowing that I can see them, that for me would definitely be the point of having to try and hide it. Two of these. Well, a brick I surprisingly go through a lot of are these, but why is the camera so blurry? Sorry, 1 second. Nothing's in front of it, is it? Okay, that seems to have done something. But yeah, these 1x4 side-studded bricks, I tend to go through a lot of these. Anyway, yeah, so it's interesting how I do go through a hell of a lot of these. Is that even the same level? Yes, it is. It technically is. Okay, we can go from there. Oh, keep that all pressed down. Because you have a good eyesight and you build molds to last long, you want to build them to perfection. Yes. It's not a case of, well, this is actually a good segue into something. And I need to grab a part behind me. That's, oh, bugger. Hang on 1 second. I have to break the illusion. Oh, come on. There we go. It's like the Truman Show, that bit. You know, you can see beyond the wall. Anyways, this was an interesting way of talking about detail in a model. Where, so if you haven't seen Brick Railway Builders podcast episode 7, first of all, I strongly encourage you to go do that. Well, I suppose any episode of the Brick Railway Builders podcast, because there's a lot of builders that will talk about how they want to make their model to be the most detailed ever. Nobody really talks about, again, those injection needle sprues. Because when you look at a model with all the detail, you think about all the parts that they've used to actually make it look like the real thing. But at least to me, and definitely with the case with other people, those bits that stand out, again, all those needle entry points, where you can definitely see, well, it's definitely more noticeable on older bricks. In newer bricks, that it's definitely more subtle. So for me, I'm definitely one of those people who, when it's noticed, it kind of not ruins or breaks anything, but it's distracting, you know? It's a bit of a weird thing about it. I'm not going out of my way to try and pinpoint it either. But yeah, I think it's something that's it's a practice that a number of people could definitely benefit from having. And amazingly, these 2x6 plates I've had to the side all day now have a use. Where is these things? There we go. So that can actually go along there. No, they cannot because that's too tall. That's alright though. Come on. There we go, that's fine. If I just get a 4x8. I have to break the Truman Show wall again. That'll do. Oh, anyways. But yeah, I think that's something that's a lot of people would benefit from practicing, in the sense that it does make your model look much more appealing. Seriously, it would be very beneficial for people to practice having their models built in a way where you look at the finer details. If you're a certified Lego professional and you got to do a lot in a time span, hiding the injection molding screws are lost priority. Yeah, absolutely. But I think for someone like me, for example, just hobby building, because when you're looking at something like the professional builders, they just got to get on with the models. But actually, I'm going to take these off for a bit. But when you look at something for in the hobby space, it's something that can, again, like I said a moment ago, it can really break the immersion, so to say. It's really weird like that. I'm still learning about detailing builds too, so little things like that don't bother me. Yeah, again, it's there's a number of things to say about it. Again, it could be a complete preference thing. There's nothing really major about it, but it's something that I've focused on for a while because, again, this is more of a personal thing. That's all it really is. So yeah. You and I, what I call a casual Legoer. We got our own pace. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are like that too. The only people that don't really bother about that sort of thing are people who, again, in the professional workspace, who, like, for example, they build something for Lego to go in the shop window. That sort of thing. Like, who cares if you can see the injection molding in, like, sprue in a couple of dozen bricks when you're looking at one of the giant models? Like, who cares? Where did that other piece go? There it is. Okay. I can go to the side. I need a drink. And we are basically 2 hours into the stream. I think we will be wrapping up soon, because once this Jacob bogey is done, I can test how it functions on the twin articulated coach, and then I can begin packing up. I prefer to see it in a shop window. I prefer to see it on YouTube than a shop window. Yeah, pretty much. Well, speaking of the Lego store, I need to head back there one day because some of the new Ninjago core sets have come out, and there's a couple of good-looking dragons on sale, and I want them. Cole's Earth Dragon and Zane's Ice Dragon. Oh, they look at that. More dragons! Yes, I want them. Anyways, where were we? This thing. Okay. Getting to that point in the program where I'm beginning to run out of breath. Hmm. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, it's a bit higher. I might have to change that entirely. I might have to get rid of that. Yeah, we're gonna have to get rid of that. Okay, very well. Well, at least we tried. Okay. I just keep those all together because that's not gonna really matter. I'm not that into Ninjago, but I still love Chima. Chima was a failure because it was supposed to take over Ninjago after the final battle in 2013 was when Ninjago's final battle took place, and that was when Ninjago was actually supposed to end. But because it was so popular and all the replacements for Ninjago failed so miserably, Lego just kept Ninjago going. And hello, Josh. Thank you so much for tuning in. How are you doing, bud? So, yeah. Oh, by the way, when I was talking about Lego shop models, I mean those 6 foot tall giant minifigures that you would see, not so much the small display case models. Have you considered making a Lego Dragon train? Well, this goes back into what I mentioned earlier in the live stream, where I would love to make more whimsical models. There's a series of videos I would love to do, because I remember taking an old Lego City pizza truck and turning that into its own coach. There are a few small sets I would love to buy and basically just put wheels on them and turn them into wagons. That is something I want to do as a series. And I would love to try and experiment with, like, where you see people with, they're holding the camera and they just put one piece on. It's a small 5 second compilation of people putting pieces together to slow the models being built up. Yeah, it could work. And the dragons, you know what, that actually reminds me. Where is the... It's behind. Hang on. So one idea a clubmate had was to use a couple of these because this is built up in 3 sections. The head, the body, and the tail are all individually built. So you could get a few more body sections and, well, even just this as is, get some wheels underneath each of them and just turn that into its own little snaky train thing. I think I've got 2 of these. So there's I don't think I'll do anything with that. Ooh, no. Yeah. That's an idea, for example. Just turning that into its own silly little train thing. But come on. The idea for that would be really cool. That's the sort of thing I would love to focus on making in the future. Because there are so many people making hardcore trains anyway. It gets boring after a while, you know? So I'm going to make something like that. Well, maybe not that, but, along those lines. I also saw you put Chima, Nexonite, Ninjago. Ninjago kind of has fallen off in the past year or so. But well, why not? Let's talk about it. So Ninjago is a bit of a mess right now, and that is mainly because of Crystallized. Crystallized was a very nice series, 30 episodes long. The sets were pretty good, and the issue that people have is the fact that the way it came out, the series that is, was an absolute mess. To the point where people who worked on the series were calling out Lego for their shoddy behavior with it. As in, Lego brought out the first 12 episodes and that was it. They brought out other episodes unintentionally in different languages, kept on taking down episodes, then re-uploading them, then taking them down. and it was horrible to try and watch along. And the last number of episodes definitely feel rushed, but this isn't exactly anything new that other Ninjago YouTubers have talked about. Not to say that I'm a Ninjago YouTuber, but in the sense that people who are bigger into the series have basically shared the common consensus. It's bloody awful. Yeah, well, the series came first. The series is the focus, and you make the sets based on the series. That's how it kind of always has been. But the issue with Crystallized is there was so much they could do, and with 30 episodes, you think that's pretty good. But at the same time, it's just stuff wasn't explored. Like the other ninja team, the modern ninja team, like the cyan ninja, blue ninja, yellow ninja, that sort of thing, with their tech weapons. After the first half of Crystallized was uploaded, that was it. We never saw them again. We saw them again near the end, but they were basically discarded in a quick gag. So yeah, it was just pathetic, really. It was a bit of a shame. But there's what else could you do? There's so much more you could do, but at the same time, there's other things you want to focus on. And it's, again, this is the point where I'm basically trying to say it got too complicated, and the show kind of didn't go out on the high note that it should have. And I think the reason why Chima and Exo Knights didn't sit well with players is they used to do Bionicle crap. I still don't get the appeal of Bionicle. I know it saved Lego. We've had the history lesson before, but people who go back and say, well, not even today, people who say nowadays, yes, I still love Bionicle. Why? It's out of date. It's boring. It's rubbish. Like, who cares for it anymore? But when was the last time you went anywhere online, like a Lego YouTuber or whatever else, and you saw someone with a wall or a series of shelves with Bionicle sets on them? You can't, because nobody does that. Who cares? Bionicle is not Lego. Well, it is, but it's not good. You know what that reminds me of? I remember Lego made an official, like, official Lego, made a poll. And it was something to do with themes returning in the future. This was a few years ago. And this poll was really interesting because themes that people wanted to see return had, the traditional themes of space and castles, that sort of thing. Bionicle was number one with like over half, well, maybe not over half, but with a lot of votes. It was always going to be number one. Castle and space, I think, was second and third, but the train theme, trains specifically, was number four. And Lego said the top four themes will be taken into consideration for future review. Trains came in fourth place, but when they posted the results, you could see that trains were in fourth place, but they specifically said we're going to focus on these top three and whatever came in, again, I can't remember what came in fifth place, but they specifically shafted the train theme. It's still, well, it's not something I've thought about for a long time, but having been reminded of it, it's just really, really, well, not to use that much profanity, very, very naughty word of Lego to basically shaft a theme that so many people are begging for. This is why on the Brick Railway Builders podcast, I've been asking my guests, what is your ideal Lego train set? And it's really interesting and really fascinating to see the answer kind of shift every now and then, because there are people who say they want something really detailed and hardcore, and there are people who say they want something a bit simple. But all of these ideas can be taken into account, and yet Lego just don't care. And that's a shame, because, it is what it is. Lego is a sub-series between Technic and Snap. Oh, Lego Snap. That was a thing I remember discovering and not really being fond of. Well, at least they tried. What do I want to do with this? Actually, we could go a bit further. No, it's not wise to. So let me just get rid of them. I need. Am I going to have to break the Truman Show wall again? It is basically the same thing. Now, let's see what I can do with these. Okay. So let's have a couple of these. Oh. This is one of those thinking out loud moments that might sound a bit weird. Let's get that one there. Let me try just something like that. Yeah, sure, that works. Don't want to use them because I've used way too many of them as is. I think I might just get some 1x4 tile, 1x1 tiles rather. Or that works nicely. Okay, let's do that. Two of them, two of them. So the side detail now looks like this, which you can still barely see because black bricks don't really have that much reflection on them, and this terrible lighting is not the best thing ever. But that is a detail I'm actually very happy with. So let's get that sorted on the other side. Let's get the other bar pieces done. Which is basically just the... Ooh, careful, hang on. Yeah, that's... Yeah, that'll do. Do-dee-doo-dee-dee-doo. Blue da-boo-dee-da-boo-die. I need more pieces, ideas flowing through, ideas that need to be put down now because I want to make sure I don't forget, but I've only got 2 hands. Gotta get going now. See you later off. See you later on, rather. Thanks for tuning in, Josh. I will be chatting with you later on. What in the bloody Nora? Okay. I ordered a couple of these. These are 1x5 Technic pieces with holes in. Nice little drawbars, or lift arms as they're called. Don't you just love it when Bricklink sellers tell you the condition of some of these pieces? Why is there a sticker on here? Well, if somebody wanted that sticker for a mock they're making, I'm afraid they're not going to have it. In the bin you go. That's better. Anyway, what were we doing? Oh yeah, we're making that thing. So that one there. Those 2 pieces. The handlebar piece. And now we need to get the hands on. We're getting there. We are getting there. I really hope this works as well. If it doesn't work, work in the sense that it's free moving on the coach base. I can just modify and shorten the undercarriage a little bit to make it so it fits. See, now that looks excellent. Okay. 2 more of these. My phone is dangerously low on battery. That's okay. So, how many categories has this behemoth, or how many carriages has this behemoth train got now? 13 coaches. Well, it's like 12 and a half because one of the coaches is a half coach. And yes, I had to name one of them Triton. I decided to, well, initially the idea was to have this coach unnamed, like entirely. But with all the other coaches having names on them, I thought, well, this one not having a name looks weird. And because I couldn't think of anything for it, I thought, so I'll just call it Triton. Why not? So that's where that came from. And the other 12 coaches are proper full-length coaches. Well, you know, full-length ones. They're 48 studs buffer to buffer, which is not actually that long. But it's still good. I love British sayings. Bloody hell is one of my favourites. Yeah, there are some things that you hear. Well, maybe not just a British people, but some quirky things that phrases. That's the word I'm thinking of. Some phrases you just hear people say, and it makes you giggle. That short one I laughed at for being modern with 6 wheels and buffers. Yeah, the idea came from a guy who is in the Lego Thomas series of, on the Lego Thomas side of the Lego Train hobby. So he's built a model of Gordon, and he's made 6 express coaches, but he's also made 2 half-length coaches, which in real life did not exist. You didn't have half-length coaches. So I liked that, and I thought, you know what, a half-length coach would be interesting for the sakes of the workmen to kind of sit in between shifts. So that's what this is basically supposed to be. It's a gimmicky thing, but at the same time, you should know that I build whimsical things like that anyways. This is me you're looking at. Right. I'm gonna have to... Oh, God. See, I don't know about anybody else, but what you're seeing right now, me sat down on the floor like this, is not for the sakes of the live stream. This is just how I build Lego. Oh, hang on, I misread that. Can't you change the stroke carriage to a water tender? I was thinking about building a second tender for the engine, but I thought I'm not going to mess around with the engine because it's supposed to have a realistic look. And besides, I've built a giant, and that's supposed to have a longer tender anyways, so it'll be funky to give that a try, but I'm purposefully not going to. So, yeah. Well, I do now tonight. Not quite sure what that comment is in response to. Anyways, I sit like this because this is how I build Lego, and my feet are actually really hurting. We know you sit on the floor to make attic space feel bigger. Well, it's not so much to make things feel bigger, it's just... this is it. It's nice to have the floor space to do layout stuff, but again, no, progress is pending with the new layout rebuild in the spare room. There it is. There we go. Some more of these. I need to get some track pieces to actually do the test. Yes, I need to get that done now. Let's put that on there. Come on. There we go. That way. Sure. That fits on there. And the other L-shaped pieces go in the corners, and that fills up all of them. And that looks excellent. Let me have 2 of those, because why not? To make that a bit more secure. Sure. And that is the new Jacob's bogey. With minimal lighting to be able to see all the details, but at the same time, I think that looks rather good. It'd be stupid to put a table and chair into a small space, so yeah, the floor will do. Yeah, pretty much that. I remember when I used to have, because where the bed is now, the bed used to be sort of this side, and there used to be a chair there, but the chair was just horrible and in the way, and then the room got remade to how it is now. And yeah, it's pretty good. I sleep on a bunk bed. My mattress is on the bottom, and the top is plywood. I build and store stuff up there. Well, if it works, I suppose. Right. time to clear all this up because I need to do some testing. Oh boy. Well, maybe not clear it all up, but I need to shovel this to a side. And this is where tipping out all the pieces onto the floor became a bad idea. Which one of you told me to do that? God, what's wrong with you? Nah, I'm kidding. Okay, this is gonna take a moment though. I'm gonna put everything back in the bag and just enough to keep it out of the way. Don't want to make too much of a mess. Try and keep some pieces separate for the sakes of tidiness. Plates over there, and over there, them over there. That radiator just made a weird noise. I can go back in the bag. My fleeting amount of cheese slopes. I'm definitely going to go through my big box of black pieces. Maybe not later. Well, maybe later today. I can definitely get the box out and get started, but I need to get some more black cheese wedges. Okay. Sausages can go over there. Those ones there. Those ones there. That I'll have to do. Fa-la-line, fa-la-la. Just making sure everything's out of the way for the track. I can't actually believe that this is basically done. The Express is finished. All the upgrades and the mods are done. Of a few days. So hang on, what's going on in chat? The frame is so old that the mattress support on the bottom is bowed down in the middle, and the whole thing creaks and moves with the slightest touch. Okay. Yeah, not too sure what we're supposed to do with that information, but again, we learn something new every day. Soon you'll be moving the bed out and you'll be sleeping on a thin mattress in the middle of the permanent railway loop. Well, I was thinking about making a layout in this space, but the only reason why I haven't is because I won't actually have anywhere to walk when the space has all been put together. So, yeah, that's the only reason why I don't have anything set up, because I've got nowhere to walk. Right, onwards. I need this one. God, it looks so much better. Yeah, that's the right way around. I am immensely satisfied with this Express. And I still haven't got a proper name for it. I need to spend some time thinking about this, looking at Express names and some good inspiration for it. And I want to make a headboard for it. Keep those there. Look. Yep. Careful there. That can go over there. That's for this side. Those two can go back over there as well, because those are off-brand pieces. The trays, I suppose I can get behind me. There. I can go over there as well. Drink, very important. Printed pieces. Oh yeah, because I was showing that off earlier with the sticker sheet. Bags, I might be able to. No, these ones can go in the bin. That's okay. Right, time to get the track, and let's test to make sure that the Jacob's bogey works properly. Purposefully not testing it now because I could, but I don't want to. I'm going to do it properly with track pieces. Okay, here we go. Let me grab those as well so I can put those back. Oh, my knees. That's my ankles clicking as well. God, I am getting old, you know. Okay. Let's move these coaches out of the way. That was more popping than bubble wrap. Yeah, it does sound quite awkward sometimes because after doing a certain activity for a long while, I even like when sitting down, for example, I'll stand up and stretch around and purposely try to click a few things, click a few joints, so not to feel so awkward when trying to move again. Oh, Christ. So many boxes of Lego around. Okay, can I try and show this off? Will the camera see it? Very maybe, but I don't actually know what's going on here. Nothing important, okay. Let's see if I can bring you down to the floor level. I did, after all, have this put on a box. That works, sure. Okay. Oop. Okay, that's on. Doubtfire, I need you now. Yeah, well, the only issue with the Jacob's bogey is having to get the pins in the right place. Right. There shouldn't be, hopefully shouldn't be, any collision. So if this goes over these points and I don't hear any bad sounds, we're golden. Or that's better, get the thumb up. Ready? Here we go. Ooh. That is cutting it close, it's got to be said. But there's no slowing down, nothing unnecessary. But what is it? Is that the same space? Yeah, that works. It's just about, where is it to? There, right there. That looks like it's actually making contact with the undercarriage. So if I take that off, that shouldn't make any difference, because the thing is, yeah, that's right on the cusp. It's impossible for you to see, but the wheel bracket piece is pretty much like brushing hairs away from the undercarriage piece. But the thing is, I can't confirm if they're touching or not.
So the bar pieces on the outside isn't touching the undercarriage at all. That's fine. Because when you get to about that sort of point, well, again, you can't see because of the shoddy camera quality. There's one stud gap here, which is fine, but it's really. So why is it cutting it so close there? Well, I can't say there's any issue because it's running just fine. Well, not the best demonstration because it's R40, but you know, there's no like you can't feel any tension as it goes over that. It looks like the two pieces are like they only just brush up against each other. The pieces are just kissing only just. But I don't think it's really enough to show that much concern over. Ah. Well, I think that. Well, I could reduce that down by one stud, and that would get rid of the issue entirely. Oh, oh, that's fine. So buffer to buffer, the coaches are 48 studs long. The main body is 46, but including the two gangway pieces, so from there, from gangway piece to gangway piece, that's 48. It mainly depends on the height that determines the length, unless you're building the super long European coaches. No, I will not be building super long coaches. This is shorter than it should be, but even then, that'll do. Right, I'm a bit torn because I don't like that they're only just touching, but at the same time, there really isn't any issue there. I'm tempted to, you know what? Why not? You know, actually, I'm torn. I don't know what I want to do. Again, it's not a problem. You know, I'm going to leave it as is. It ultimately isn't a problem. Again, it articulates just fine. There's no kind of, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not going to see any damage in the bricks, if anything, because again, with how it's positioned there, it doesn't look like it's restricting. And even then, the amount of times this thing is going to go over such a curve like this will be near impossible. Like, or near, what's the word? Like, no, is like never, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's never going to really go through this again. The sole reason why I'm doing this is because it's an articulation test. If it can pass through this, it can do anything, like any curve on any layout. So yeah, I think that is going to do for the stream. So all the coaches have been upgraded. Let me bring you back up here because, you know, why not? Oh, oh there we are. Let's have these here. Okay. Let's have a sit rep, shall we? So, first of all, let's have a drink. So, for the past two live streams, so this one and the previous live stream, where is a good one? Here's. We spent a good amount of time
upgrading and modifying the coaches to a much better standard. The coaches now have nameplates, they have printed TLR crests, the wheel bogies have been upgraded, and all of them now have internal details, including plenty of minifigures. Well, this one has some empty spaces that need filling, but with a tiled floor and seats and tables, we have finally sorted out the articulated coaches, and the Jacobs bogie works as intended, but this is a very unique situation as to where I'm not fully comfortable, but that is besides the point. All the coaches have now been upgraded to what I believe is now their absolute maximum. I will be doing a showcase video on these two new coaches, and all of the appropriate detail upgrades that these coaches have or will focus on will be mentioned in a way that it will be showcasing all the other coaches. So the wheel upgrades, the streamlined undercarriage, the name, the prints, again, the internal details, all of it will be mentioned as a showcase for all of the coaches that I've done for this Express. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not going to really bother upgrading the motor detail any further because this is a motor. This big singular piece here is enough for me. I don't want to push my luck and potentially do anything to the motor bogie design in case it doesn't really work. Last thing I need is another idea that leads me to getting more parts online. That's not what I want. So yeah, that is basically the live stream done and done. So yeah, I think at this point it's time to pack up and just carry on with the rest of the day. So showcase videos will be coming out on the short coaches and the twin articulated coaches. Keep an eye out on that. More Nerf videos are coming out in the future. I kept getting distracted for what I wanted to talk about when it came to the Nerf side of things, but that's a bit late now. But at the end of the day, I was able to get a good amount of progress done, and I am very, very happy with that. And we got another live stream in the books. This is over 2.5 hours long. This is... Hello, that Niagara guy. What is your great news? I have some sad news, because, nobody tell him we're about to end the stream. What's your good news? Come on, you're here, you have good news. What is it? You've got us waiting now. You got your driver's license. Oh, congratulations. Tonks Train 17, hello. You've made it just in time for the end of the stream. I'm literally about to wrap things up. That's very unfortunate timing, and I do apologize for the inconvenience of it. But, yeah, it's bad timing. But seeing as you've just arrived, it would be unfair not to show you what I've been getting on with. So for this live stream, we finished up all the details for some of the coaches' new wheel bogies. Loads more details. The coaches have names on them, they have prints, and they have full interior detail. More of this will be shown off in the showcase videos that you will see in the coming days. So yeah, I know, just came back from school. I'm so sorry, man. It's not good at all. But again, I'm still trying to figure out what's a good time to do these live streams. I am thinking about focusing them more in the morning. So like if I wake up a little bit earlier, bash through my morning routine, I probably start a live stream about, well, no later than about 11 or so in the morning for me. I think I started this live stream at 1 in the afternoon, which is good because, you know, there are still more people who can tune in. But at the same time, I'm still trying to find a nice, again, not a sweet spot, but a time that will be better for people to be able to tune in. So yeah, we're still figuring things out. We'll get there eventually. But for everyone who tuned in for as long as they have, thank you all ever so much. To my viewers who are in Australia, you can go to bed now because I know it's crazy late for you. Thank you all ever so much for tuning in, everyone. All of the links to my social media pages are in the description. You know the drill by now. And yeah, keep an eye out in the next coming days for the showcase videos for the new coaches, again, more Nerf stuff, and for more live streams. So thanks again for watching, everyone. I shall see you all soon. Take care. Okay, bye-bye.